and this one is for April 23rd of 2025. And yeah, I'm not feeling so good today. I don't feel like going to the river. I don't feel like leaving the house. So, you get a good shot of the old backyard here, man. Sun square Pluto. Pluto in Aquarius, the sign of the rebel. And I am rebelling. I am staying home today. Life is too much. Oh my goodness. Venus conjunct the North Node. I want some comfort. I just want some Venus energy in Pisces doing nothing. And Saturn is not that far away. Venus conjunct Saturn tomorrow. So we have a Venus-Saturn North Node conjunction, which is like serious money concerns, serious love concerns, serious letting go of innocence concerns. Anyway, I'm going to get into that, but let me finish these aspects here. Yeah, Saturday, tomorrow, Mars is opposite Pluto. So you got it, Mars opposite Pluto. Okay, and Sun opposite Black Moon Lilith, just in time for the new moon. Okay, I mean, this is just on Sunday we have the new moon. It is at 7 degrees 46 minutes of Taurus, and Lilith is up there at 6 degrees. Look at the plumeria here. I just love the plumeria. It smells so good. Anyway, where was I? I'm a little spaced out here, So the moon is in Pisces today, and, it's going to hit together. Okay, squares Jupiter tomorrow, conjuncts Venus and Saturn, goes by the North Node, her own North Node. Oh yeah, here's my pineapple. Got a pineapple coming up. There it is. What's life without pineapples? And where was I? The moon goes into Aries, on Friday, and scoots on through Aries until it goes into Taurus on Sunday. This is my butterfly bush over here. For some reason, the butterflies just love this bush. Anyway, so these are the main things I want to be talking about here, okay? I mean, it's basically a grand cross. You can see it at the chart that comes in there. New moon, opposite Black Moon Lilith, square Mars and Pluto. And this is all within a few degrees. So this is all going on all week. I mean, this is no fun. Venus, the planet of love, joy, and comfort, conjunct Saturn. This is just like, if you're having a hard time, you are not alone, and you may even be picking up on the collective chaos, right? And just this whole sense that everything is falling apart, because that is what this whole energy is about right now. It is the end of innocence. I was thinking of making that the actual song for today. There's my favorite cactus, man. He's freaking awesome. All right, anyway, let me look at the camera. Okay, no guarantees here today, folks. I tell you, the people down the street are building a house. This other guy over here has got his chainsaw out. There can be anything going on anytime. It was a nice, cloudy, cool day, and now the sun is coming out. And this is just the kind of thing that we can all be experiencing with what? Boom. Oppositions. Oppositions. It can feel like life is opposing you, like you are against life, or that life is against you. Or maybe you've narrowed it down to a particular person who is against you, or a particular institution or governmental agency or family member or lawyer or whatever. But the opposition is it's a phenomenal aspect dealing with projection, where we project our shadow. Our shadow. Let's look at Black Moon Lilith, okay, the queen of shadow, especially in the sign of shadow, Scorpio, coming in to oppose the new moon. Oh, my word. This is Shadow Week. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Now, not just be ready for this week, okay? This week is one thing, but Black Moon Lilith went into Scorpio March 27th, and she's going to stay there till December 20th. She spends about 9 months, okay, a gestation cycle for the human being. She deals with the feminine. She deals with this very powerful feminine energy that has to all sides of the feminine, yeah? Creation, growth, stasis, holding, decay, and destruction. Everything having to do with the ancient mother. Yes, and this ancient feminine energy that both, builds, nurtures, and then can also decay and destroy and remove. So yeah, this is very ancient, powerful energy. I mean, Lilith goes back to the Sumerian times, a handmaiden of Inanna. I mean, I've told the story. I've done workshops. You can go on my website and look at I have all kinds of things around Lilith. It's been a while since I've talked about her, but I'm feeling her right now, particularly in square to Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio, and Mars, the ruler of Scorpio. So this is like really kind of Lilith time. Oh, man. So what does she do? She works with the turbulent feelings, jealousy, rage, right? Intense emotions, sex, birth, death, debt, lust, greed, jealousy, power, issues, control issues, bringing all of this up, this emotional need, almost to like, I don't feel alive unless it's intense. And so what I'm going to do is, rather than feel my own need for emotional intensity, I'm going to project it out, into my relationships, into my intimate relationships, into the world, onto other people, and create drama. Drama. You think Leo is drama. Scorpio is real drama. It's the life and death drama, okay, that, really makes books and movies and memories and stories and history. And her story when it comes to Lilith. Yeah? So, this is a real time, and that's where, that's where the mantra is coming from. That is where this, this whole energy at this time, okay? And what is it about? What is it for? It is to bring into balance. It's exposing, okay? It's like opening up, all right? It's like, you open up and you shine the light through the crack into the darkness. Speaking of shining light, now I've got the sun right in my face. Oh, man. Anyway, the end of innocence. That's the song. Okay, that's this week's song by Don Henley. Right, the end of the innocence. Pisces is the alpha and the omega, the beginning and the end, right? And so it starts out very innocent. And 12th house, Pisces, Neptune, energy is, oh yeah, everything's wonderful. I love everybody and I love everything. And I'm, everything's going to work out and everything's okay. And the little kids go playing and they just expect and they take things for granted. And then Saturn comes into Pisces. North Node in Pisces. Saturn and Neptune are going to retrograde back into Pisces. Neptune is going up to 2 degrees, 2 degrees 6 minutes, and then turning around and going back into Pisces. So this is going on here for, at least 9 months, okay, where this is just like, what? The end of innocence is like, it's a great waking up. And I think of the metaphor that I could use for this, my childhood. My childhood. I've got the sun in the 12th house, okay, of Pisces. It's square the planet Neptune. I can be an idealist, and I just adored my father. Probably for the first 12 years of my life, okay, he was a lawyer. He was intelligent. He knew everything. I could not ask Dad a question that he could not answer. I mean, he was like Zeus. Okay, the god on the top of Mount Olympus. Oh my word. Right? I don't know if you've ever had that. Maybe you didn't have that kind of a dad, but, that's the kind of dad my dad was. And then when I got into 12, 13, I came into puberty, okay, and I came into my emotions, and I came into feelings, and it came around to questions that, Dad doesn't quite answer that, because Dad is not in touch with his feelings, and Dad doesn't talk about his feelings. In fact, I wonder if Dad even has feelings. And here goes my pedestal of Dad going down, 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 down. Yeah, and you may have had this, and I think we're all having this just in terms of the government. I was thinking of this in terms of the government. We really, the government was kind of created, by the people, for the people, to protect the people and set laws in place. But now corporations and business and enterprises and technology is gobbling up the government. It's more powerful than the government, until finally now the government is failing us. It's failing to protect our children. It's failing to protect our rights, our privacy, our money, our anything. It's just like, oh my goodness. It's this failure, right, that wakes us up. And this waking up is not pleasant. It's not nice. And it's not easy. Particularly, the more emotionally attached we are to the stories that we've created for ourselves to explain our world, our actions, our beliefs, and our reality. And this is what Scorpio is about. And Black Moon Lilith going into Scorpio. And now the sun, okay, the sun coming out of, 3 months ago, the sun was conjunct Pluto. And it was back February 17th that Mars was conjunct Pluto. So you may look back, okay, to February 17th, and then, in February, we had this Sun, Mars up there, conjuncting Pluto. Well, now it's like they're moving out, and Mars is opposing, okay, and the Sun is square, and it's like, whoa, what's going on here? And I'm also thinking, even within our own personal psyche, we could say, perhaps, our conscience is like the government to protect us from our ego. Let's say that our ego is like the big corporations or the big greedy, lustful monsters that want to start chainsaws in the middle of the Pele report. Right? And here we are, with that conscience, and it's very kind of that still small voice within that gives us guidance and keeps us going. But oh my goodness, it can like really kind of falter when we... And so what happens? Yeah? We can get angry with ourselves. We can get angry with life. We can get angry with the world. We can just like really take it personally. We can really go into rage, okay? And then we can try to fight back. This is the other thing, right? Then we move into other conditions and other situations of destructive anger. Lilith rules destructive anger, intense passion, right? Emotional manipulation, disordered aggression, just kind of striking out at, kicking the dog, okay, when you're mad at the landlord, or going, like yelling at the camera because you're pissed at the chainsaw. I mean, you could get, it's like, these feelings come up, and a lot of times we don't know what to do with them. We're taught to control them, suppress them, keep them down and quiet, or, go out in the woods, or go to your room, or go someplace else, but like, don't show negative emotions. And yet it is these negative emotions, this is a very important aspect of Scorpio. It takes intensity to shoot holes in our illusions, in our stories, and in our bubbles. We may tell ourselves, oh, it's going to be fine. I've betrayed this person, but, they're not going to know about it. It's going to go away. Nobody's really getting hurt here. I mean, we can come up with all kinds of, justifications for stuff that we do. And it's not until we get confronted. Scorpio works with confrontation. Mars is confrontation. Pluto is confrontation. This is a time to be confronted with our stuff. The last 28 years of stuff, Saturn is a 28-year cycle, okay? Things can be coming up from under the carpet. Scorpio rules secrets that are best forgotten and just kind of shoved away. So there is this time now, and whether it's happening with Trump or Musk or all these other people that are in the news, and they're digging up stuff, Robert Kennedy, they're trying to get rid of him, and so there's all this kind of underlying stuff to like bring up, okay, the shadow. Bring up the stories, and the point is truth. Ultimately, the point is truth. And Lilith actually brings up all these negative, aspects of ourselves. Her gift is self-empowerment through self-awareness. It's self-awareness. Another metaphor that I could use is we're driving along in our car, and we innocently expect that our car is going to just run forever, when all of a sudden there's a clink, clank, clunk, clunk, and the car stops. We have to pull over. What do you have to do? Go under the hood. Right? You got to get out of your car, and you got to lift up the hood, and you got to see what's going on with that engine. Yeah? You've got to see, you got to look, you got to move around the wires, look at the carburetor, check the battery. You need to figure out in a much deeper, clearer way exactly what is driving your car, right? What is really motivating you? Especially light workers. We all like to think we're all about love, light, spirit, sweetness, joy, peace, and harmony. But every once in a while, okay, there may be some selfishness that creeps in. There may be some gluttony that creeps in. There may be some indulgence that creeps in. right? There may be a little, lust or greed or some of these other aspects of the lower animal nature that, of course, we're not animals, we're spirits, right? And so, again, we kind of like brush it over, paint over, like paint over the mural, so the mural, the graffiti's not there. Just, put a coat of paint over that graffiti. But the graffiti doesn't go away. It's part of the makeup, right? So, there is this part of evolution, part of growth. And this is what Pluto and Scorpio are all about, okay? Is alchemical transformation that happens through other people getting in our face and other people confronting us. And then other people merging with us and transforming us and raising up our passion and raising up our, the intensity of emotional either confrontation or union. But the intensity is often necessary. If it's not intense, we can just blow it off, ignore it, avoid it, forgive it. But when, boom, 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 when the policeman knocks at the front door, okay, or the bank shows up to take your car away, it's like, okay, okay, I got to look at this, right? So this is what this grand square is all about. If we can take it as an opportunity to really learn, to really grow, to really see, okay, what is in the basement, okay, what's in the engine room down there in those lower chakras that's really driving the bus. Not our stories, not our ego, not our monkey mind. Okay, no. There's deeper needs, deeper fears, childhood and past life memories and issues and complexes. I mean, this stuff is all boiling up, right? And it's boiling up in the collective. You can see it all over. And if you're a psychic, you're a sensitive, okay, you're picking up a lot of stuff just in this collective energy. I'm not feeling well. I know other people that are not feeling well. It's just kind of like, you have to like really, boom, not go into guilt, not go into shame, not go into masochistic beating yourself up, taking things personally. This is the classroom of planet Earth. We're all just human here. We're all just learning here. The point is to learn the lessons and get on with it. And we will be getting on with it next week after this grand square. I mean, the sun square Pluto today, Mars opposite Pluto Sunday, the new moon opposite Lilith Sunday. I mean, woo. This is, so yeah, I think next week things are going to temperature's going to come down a little bit more. Things are going to chill out a little more. It's, I'm not going to say return to normal. Things are not going to return to normal. There is no normal to return to anymore. If you haven't noticed, it's been wiped out. Sorry. We're moving into the unknown. We're closing this whole cycle, and that transition between death and rebirth is experienced as chaos, the void, and the emptiness. And if we don't fear that void and that emptiness, but we relax and let our guard down and let spirit be with us and really come into an inner acceptance and peace during this time, our sight and our vision and our understanding will be magnified 100-fold. So please, boom. Observe yourself getting completely pissed off, Observe yourself, throwing a dish, I mean, and in some ways, let yourself throw a dish, right? Like maybe express yourself in some way that you've always been afraid to express yourself. Maybe you've never said the F word. you know, this may be a week to say the F word. And just like experience a part of yourself, see a part of yourself that you're afraid to see, that you're afraid of, that you're afraid to look at. That is your power. So it's getting naked, yeah, it's getting naked maybe with another person, but it's getting naked to ourselves, with ourselves, for ourselves. Seeing those deeper inner layers that are really driving us, really motivating us, what we are really about. And they may be ugly, and they may be not nice, and they may not be what, you're supposed to be. But knowing it, owning it, accepting it is the first step in changing it, growing it, and evolving it. So yes, it's the end of innocence, and it's disillusioning, and it's disappointing, and it's aggravating. But it is the step on the journey to evolve into a better version of ourselves. So if we can keep that in mind during this time, this new moon in Taurus is, finding self-worth, finding self-sufficiency, finding new capacities, new talents that make us more worthy, that make us more valuable. So it's just like, boom. Yeah, this is really a very strengthening time. It's Taurus the bull. So this new moon is going to really set the tone. And yes, it's challenging at the beginning, but I'm going to say, things are going to be lightening up as, Mars moves away from opposing Pluto. Yeah, Sun moves out of that T-square. Lilith is going retrograde right now. I use the true Lilith, okay? She's going retrograde right now in Scorpio. But whoa, Nelly tally hos. Yeah. It's a dramatic time, and just understand that the universe or your own unconscious creates drama for a damn good reason. Okay? You've got drama because you need drama. And you may want to back off, you may want to hide, you may want to seclude yourself, because you keep getting drawn into everybody else's dramas. BS. Look beneath it, look beneath it. Don't project it onto, he's got the drama, she's got the drama, they're so full of drama, forget that, da, 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 da. Guess what? If you're in it, if it triggers you, you've got it. You have an unconscious need for emotional intensity in order to feel connected. Just accept it. Stop projecting it. If there's drama in your life, you have a need for drama, or the drama would not be in your life. Now, the source of it, who's creating it, ultimately, Taurus tells us we create our own reality. Yeah? So, boom. Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. This is mirror time. Oppositions are the mirror. Let's go with the mantra for this week, with the hammering in the background. Making the unconscious conscious is not always a pretty sight, as deep hidden parts of myself and others need to come into the light. That flashlight, that headlight when you're going, down the path through the forest, on a dark night, and you see the snakes and it's like, okay, whoa. Maybe I didn't want to see that, but it's a darn good thing I did. Yeah? Because now I'm better equipped. Now I'm more conscious. Now I am aware and I can deal with it. When I'm conscious of it and I'm aware of it and I see it, you know? So look at these confrontations, look at other people, look at our most intimate relationships as really bringing into the light, okay, aspects of your unconscious self that ultimately will serve to empower you. It's uncomfortable and, maybe ugly to look at, but in the end, when the fat lady sings or whatever it is, on the deathbed, you'll be glad that you went to that therapist or you went to that counselor or you had that relationship where they really stirred you up. Whoosh. I know you know what I'm talking about. This ain't the first time you've been stirred up or confronted. Come on, baby. Making the unconscious conscious is not always a pretty sight. As deep hidden parts of myself and others need to come into the light. May you have a dimmer switch that brings the light on gradually rather than just a bonk. Ah! Namaste. Aloha. So much love.